Yes, 100% with this comment. There's only 5 puppies here, and pretty much all of them are spoken for at this point. But I've gotten hundreds of DMs, thousands of comments at this point of people that want puppies. And yeah, I know that the endemic problem in our society is that we want a puppy, and we get a puppy, and then that puppy becomes a dog, and you don't want the puppy anymore. This is Kaiser. This is my 8-month-old, so still a puppy, but he's really almost a dog now because he's like 50 pounds. And he was the most adorable little angel baby when we first got him. And now he's kind of a menace because he still sometimes occasionally has accidents in his kennel. He tears things up, and I mean, he's just not the cute, tiny little baby he once was. He was smaller than these guys when I first got him. So yeah, a big problem is people want to get a puppy because they're super cute and small, but then that puppy becomes a dog, and there's lots of responsibility with owning a dog, and that's how a lot of these dogs end up in shelters and on the side of the road. I'm sure like these guys did. They probably came from a family that accidentally had a litter, or maybe they did on purpose, but then they no longer wanted to or were able to take care of them, so they got dumped. Now, Jessie, my girlfriend, she was going to make a video basically exactly like this one, where she was saying, you know, we only have 5 puppies, but if you still want a puppy, you can go to your local animal shelter. And I saw this comment, so I had to steal it from her and go ahead and make this video. There's only 5 of them, so obviously we can't split them up between the 2.5 million people that saw that first video. But your local shelter, I guarantee you, has puppies. They all do. And even if they don't have puppies for whatever reason, they're going to have sweet dogs that are going to love on you just like these guys. And a lot of these shelters are kill shelters, so if the dog's there for more than a couple of days, sometimes they end up putting them down. And then there's people that were complaining about the rehoming fee of $100. If you go to your local shelters, a lot of the times they'll have programs every now and then where you can have all of the adoption fees waived, and you'll get your animals with shots and records, vaccinations, everything. There's even some shelters that give you like a whole puppy starter kit. Now, I know the reason why a lot of people like these puppies over some of the dogs that you'll see in your shelters, and that's because these have a story behind them. They were found on the side of a road, and now they're famous online. So yeah, these are going to have a bit more of a draw than your average animal shelter dog is going to have. But there's some really beautiful and sweet dogs in the shelters. My dog before Kaiser was another German Shepherd, and his name was Jaeger, and he had one eye, and he actually attacked me on my job site when I was working there, but I knew that it was just because he was scared. So when he was available to be released for adoption, I adopted him out.
Hey. Definitely wants to be with Mama.
Sadly, he didn't like my girlfriend's dog Mira, and that's kind of a deal breaker for us. So we ended up taking him back, but I paid for his adoption fees again, so that way he could go to a good home for free. Long story short is, if you're not one of the 5 people who ends up taking one of these puppies home and you still have puppy fever or you want a dog, then go to your local animal shelter and take a look at some of the dogs that they have there, because they all deserve loving homes, and not every single one of them is going to get that. I don't see anything wrong with buying from dog breeders, but I do think that breeding should be a regulated thing so you don't end up with strays all over the place. But at the end of the day, all these shelters, they're always overfilled. And honestly, you could even go and adopt out a dog from a rescue or a non-kill shelter, and then that'll give them more space to be able to go and get more dogs. So that way you have less puppies and less dogs that don't need to be in these shelters on euthanasia lists. I am obviously by no means an expert in shelters and stray dogs and all that kind of stuff. So if you want more information, go look it up online. I'm sure your local shelters have more information on their websites. There's probably awareness groups in your area. So there's ways that you can check out how you can help, I'm sure, online. I'm not the best place to make that connection, but do your research yourself. And if you really want a puppy and you didn't end up with one of these, go get yourself one from a shelter somewhere.